Hello and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to talk to a young author who has accomplished an amazing amount and has a tremendous future ahead of her. My guest is Kaleela Thompson. Welcome.
Hi.
You awe me. You are now 16 years old and you published your book when you were how old?
About 9 years old.
That's kind of amazing. I don't know of anyone else who has published a book at that age. I mean, is it like just normal to you, or do you go, wow, you know, I'm kind of cool?
I think it's pretty normal to me. At first, when I started writing it, I was just like, oh, I'm just writing a story. And then later on, I saw how much it impacts my life. And so I said, oh, okay, there's a different change.
That's so neat. Okay, so your book is called?
Where is my swallowtail?
And I want to back up a little bit, but talk about your interest. You know, a lot of times when you talk to a young author, the interest is in writing, and your interest was in the subject matter as much as it was in the writing. How did you get interested in butterflies, and not just butterflies, but all insects?
Well, when I was about 4 years old, my mom bought me my first butterfly habitat from Insect Lore. And so I always watched how the little spiky caterpillars turn into like a winged creature.
So a butterfly habitat, for people who don't know, it's kind of like a cage over plants and caterpillars, and you watch every day as they go through that metamorphosis. Yep. Okay, so you're 4 years old.
And then later on, she was like recording me, and I had no idea that she was. So around in the 4th grade, she was saying to me, you want to see this video? And I said, sure. And so she said, you were talking to critters when you were smaller, and that you always go outside every day and you would study them and see their movements and their reactions. And so she said, would you like to write a story about all of your adventures? And I said, sure. And so then we went ahead and went broad into it.
I'm still amazed. Like, I'm almost speechless. Okay, so, and I've seen kids write books, you know, they write these stories, but yours went to fruition. I mean, it got published, it got printed, it's distributed. How did all that happen?
Well, my publisher is Kecoughtan Services, and with Kecoughtan Services, they are programmed with physical and mental disabilities, and so I always say that you can turn your challenges into abilities, and I always hope that people can help me spread that message. And so I went ahead and I wanted to share that you can be anything that you want to be and that you can't let anyone bring you down. So I went ahead and decided to share my dream by turning my book into an environmental literacy book. And so my uncle Gapana Black, he went ahead and he wrote the song for the book, and one of my friends, she went ahead and sang the song along with me. So in order for me to create the book, I had to do like all of these adventures. I couldn't like go online and just research it. So I went ahead and I went to like different parks, and I went to my backyard, then my neighbor's backyard, then to my community, and then later on I was able to discover a place in the world.
That is so cool. So the book gets published, and Kecoughtan, you know, one of the things I want to say about them is they also work with the environment, with plants, and part of a lot of their therapeutic work tends to be involved in gardening and the botanical gardens or the zoo or whatever. So they've already got that bent, and obviously it spoke to you.
Yep.
So what has happened since? Tell us about your trip to Brazil.
Well, I went ahead because every year I always try to find a camp that I can go to that deals with animals or insects, because I want to major in entomology with a minor in zoology and paleontology. So with the Brazil, I saw it online that National Geographic had student expeditions. And so because that with the cost of the trip, that's like over about $1,000 for the plane, and it was the supplies and everything. So I saw that they had an application that you could do a full scholarship for it, and I signed in it. and it said that you would receive in about April 1st if you got the scholarship or not. So I was crossing my fingers the whole time, and the packet was about this big when we finished it.
Uh-huh.
And so I went ahead and I was waiting and waiting. And when they said to me on the phone later on, they said, "You got the scholarship. We can't wait to see you in Brazil." I was running around the house all ecstatic. I dropped to the floor and I was screaming my head off.
Really? Oh. What summer was this?
Summer,
Last
June 2014.
Okay, so just last summer, a year ago from now. Okay.
Oh wait, it was July 2014.
Okay.
And it was about 19 days.
Wow.
And so by the time I arrived in Brazil, I also had people help me get the supplies like REI. They were a great store, and they told me all about the nature and how the temperatures would be in Brazil, and they showed me how to use the different materials, so if I ever got stumped in a situation, I wouldn't freak out. So when I went to Brazil, the first night we ate pizza because it was about an 8-hour long ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went ahead and we did river rafting. We studied the Golden Line tamarinds. And we went ahead and we had snake chase us. And we started to become a family because the people with me, they were from all over the world.
Oh, wow.
And so lots of them were from here in the U.S., but I met 2 people from Honduras and 1 from Canada, too.
Now, was it just like being in a whole other world? I mean, the animals, the wildlife, the plants, everything in that climate is tropical and different.
It was the most exciting place that I went to out of all the places there, because we did Manaus, Rio, the Pantanal, and the Amazon.
Oh my gosh.
It was the Amazon that was the most different because there were mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes had they were like beasts when we
How
went
big were
there.
they?
They were small, but
okay.
at the same time, they would just follow you, and and this insect repellent that I got, it wasn't working that much, so they bit me all over my forehead, and later on, those little bumps turned into a hive outbreak, so I had to go to the hospital when I was there.
Oh no!
But luckily, I got a cortisone shot there, and then I had to have antibiotics. But coming back from Brazil, it made me appreciate more the things that I have here than what it was probably there, because there are bathrooms. It turns out I couldn't put it in the toilet, so we had to put it in the trash cans, and their water filtration system isn't that good, so the water always had to be filtered because we couldn't use straight water from the sink to do certain things with it and everything.
So you really appreciated some of the advantages that we have here. But also, when you tell this story, you tell it as if it's this awesome and wonderful experience. And oh, by the way, I had to go to the hospital and I was seriously ill. But it still made this huge impact on you.
Yep.
It's okay. So why bugs? I mean, really, I don't mean to be stereotypical, but a lot of girls are not comfortable around insects. And you really are. How did that develop with you?
Well, with the bugs, I always saw them as having a purpose in our environment, and because the insect that always, for some reason, just always interested me the most, it was the butterflies and also the bees, because they pollinate our flowers because flowers are like food to our animals, and then we eat animals, and they also provide a bigger meaning to everything. And so with the bugs, I always said to myself that even if it's not something that most girls do, that if I see a purpose in something, I want to go ahead and achieve that purpose.
So how do you follow up summer camp in Brazil? What are you doing this summer, Kaleela?
This summer I'll be going down to Florida to the university there, and I'll be doing a mentorship with lepidopterists. And the lepidopterists and I were going to be working with butterflies and moths, and they're going to put me in some field research. And
You're 16. That is so cool. Wow.
And then I'll also be doing a mentorship with Professor Dash at HU, and we'll be doing ants and butterflies. So I'm going ahead and collecting ants because I'm really excited that he said I'll be pinning some insects. And I'm also doing a writers camp at HU. And so they do a horse program every summer in about July and June. And
So a riders program, not a writers program. Gotcha. I thought you were working on your next book on writing. Okay, writing sounds like fun. It's outdoors.
And then let's see, I think that's about it.
Okay, what's next for you? First of all, you go to high school here in Hampton. You go to?
Kecoughtan.
All right. And where do you see yourself going to college? Well, you said already you were looking at entomology and zoology. Oh my gosh.
The college that I hope to go to is the University of Florida. And because for probably like the undergraduate and graduate programs, so
There's more bugs in Florida, right?
I hope that they're not bigger than what they are here. And let's see, I believe I might try going to do the Cornell University because they also have an entomology program up there.
Yes, they do. A great one. That is so exciting. So you see yourself going the PhD track, teaching, writing. What does your future hold?
I believe my future holds me doing a big study. Pollinator research site, it deals with the monarch butterflies, and so I want to go ahead and put like a device on them that tracks their migration patterns because I noticed the decline in the monarch butterfly population, well actually all butterfly populations, and I saw that, I heard that President Obama is doing a type of monarch.
I think it's Michelle, not the president, but yeah, they're together. I get at the White House, they're using that to be a pollinator garden.
And so the president of Mexico, he went ahead and asked President Obama, he was saying like, there's a decline in the monarchs and I want to go ahead and do something to help them so that their population can start to build up. And so the president in Canada, he went ahead and said that he'll help too.
Oh, wow.
So they're putting like a highway so that the butterflies, the monarchs, they can go ahead and pollinate the flowers along there. So as they take their migration route to Mexico, Florida, and Canada, that nothing can like affect them.
So they'll try to create a more environmentally friendly place for the monarchs to migrate. So you're going to work toward helping that effort on the monarchs' part.
Yep.
It sounds like you have a really bright future ahead of you. Is there another book in your future, maybe?
I am working on my second book at the moment. I'm still coming up with the name for it, but I already started working with the story on it. And for a quick sneak peek of it, I was going to go ahead and put the story as like it's going to be dealing with bees and birds and that they're critters that, little girl, she's coming to their places, but she's learning about their own habitats at the same time. And so she's helping them find their way and that she's helping them find themselves too.
Oh, that sounds like a wonderfully self-reflective book, too, where it's sort of the little girl is finding her way and herself, the critters are finding themselves. That sounds great. Well, I look forward to seeing it, and thank you so much for coming by. I've enjoyed meeting with you.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I hope you will stay tuned and keep up with this young lady's future because I think it's going to be amazing and an inspiration to all of us. Thanks for watching.